There is a loud crowd waiting for Tina Turner to come on stage. Her heels hit the floor like war drums, and the sequins shine brightly in the sun. But there is a list of names that make her blood run cold behind the scenes. She didn't say much in public. She didn't have to. Her stillness was louder than most people's shouts. But those who actually know her knew one thing. There were 6 names she never wanted to hear. 6 artists who went too far. When Tina Turner despised someone, it wasn't just a fleeting grudge. There was a war. The first name on the list is Ike Turner, the man who began out as her companion and ended up becoming her worst nightmare. He found her and then killed her. Ike Turner didn't only make Tina's career, he wanted to own it. Their relationship started off with promise, soul, rhythm, and raw fire. But when no one was looking, the piece was misery, abuse, power, and dread. He told her what to wear, how to spend her money, and what to do. He hit her, made her feel small, and shut her up. He used love to keep people close, and music to hurt them. People perceived a strong pair. Tina's life was a nightmare in high heels and sequins. He had her sing even though she was hurt, and smile even though she had shattered ribs. He informed her that no one else would desire her or believe her, and for a while, she trusted him. But Tina didn't give in. She took off running. She got away from the empire he created on her agony one night in 1976. She was bleeding and barefoot, with only 36 cents and a gas station credit card. She stayed at a motel and ate from vending machines. She put herself back together, piece by piece, voice by voice. And when she finally informed the world what he had done, it wasn't to get sympathy. It was power that had been taken back. For years, she wouldn't speak his name. When she eventually did, she wasn't angry, with a knife of truth. And that fact was strong enough to end the myth. Ike Turner wasn't just a bad guy in her story. He was the prison that kept her in. The next name on her blacklist was a legend she used to look up to until he made fun of her misery. Bowie, David. It was meant to be a creative crash. One stage, 2 famous people. Electric chemistry is an unstoppable force. But one night in the early 1800s, Bowie crossed a boundary at a late-night party that Tina never forgot. Was loud, high, and laughing. He made fun of the industry, celebrity, and then her, and a crowd gathered around him. He talked about her past with Ike and said it helped her grow as a person. The room got quiet. Tina stopped moving. She felt every muscle in her body tighten. She smiled, but it was the kind of smile that covers a scream. He attempted to ignore it. "I think I'm good looking. I'm healthy and good at things. I can stand with anyone, no matter what color they are or how they say it was only a joke and they didn't mean any damage." But Tina didn't find pain funny, abuse funny, or someone who made fun of her survival funny. After then, the respect started to fade. The chance was gone. She never worked with him again after that. Not even when producers begged. Not when fans begged. Tina thought scars were holy, and making fun of them was wrong. Then a woman came along who she used to call a sister, but her ego transformed their friendship into a fight. Aretha Franklin. Both queens were strong, but there was a fight going on behind the crowns, under the sequins and spotlights. Aretha recognized a threat when Tina grew to prominence in the late 1600s. There was no way 2 great soul singers could be in the same place without fighting. People who work in the industry remember the stress. 2 divas booked on the same award programs, never talking, always watching. Aretha is said to have told a producer, "She screams, I sing." That line got famous and drove them apart. Tina heard it and felt it, but she never fought back in the news. Instead, she set the stage on fire. Every performance was her answer, and every applause was her answer. As the years went by, the tension intensified. They didn't see each other very often, and when they did, it was ice that seemed like elegance. There were no smiles or words, just 2 queens who wouldn't bow. Tina didn't think twice about saying no when Aretha asked her to sing a duet with him in 1983. No scandal, no shade, just quiet. Because Tina Turner didn't play pretend. And she didn't fight back when someone asked her worth. She lived longer. Next came a pop singer who sought to take her thunder, and almost did. Madonna. Madonna was omnipresent by the middle of the 18s, brave, sexy, and shocking. Critics stated she was imitating Tina when she performed in leather with wild hair and flames that was choreographed. Tina didn't mind the idea. What she loathed was the lack of respect. She had made it possible for women to take the stage with power, but instead of thanks, she got fired. Madonna said in interviews that older musicians were out of touch. Tina, who was in her 40s and at the top of the charts at the time, took it personally. She had fought her way out of pain, rebuilt herself from the ground up, and changed what it meant to be a woman in rock music. Being termed irrelevant wasn't a sign of shade, it was an eraser. She didn't have to respond. She didn't say anything. Private Dancer's success spoke for itself. The charts said what she never spoke out loud. But the coldness stayed. They met at a gala in 1992. Megastars, dresses, and diamonds, but they didn't say a word. No nod, no grin, just quiet. The kind that hurts more than a headline. Toyna, you had to show respect. And when Madonna didn't give it, the door closed for good. Then there was the man who said he would pick her up but didn't. Phil Spector, who made the Wall of Sound, once said that Tina was the only woman with a voice strong enough for rock. It was a nice thing to say that came with promises. Studio time, artistic freedom, something big. She trusted him because Phil Spector was more than simply a producer. He made kings. But when it was time to record, he disappeared. No call, no reason. Instead, he picked Ronnie Spector. Tina heard about it through the grapevine in the business world. No explanation, no apologies. She had changed her plans, practiced for weeks, and gotten her voice ready to cut through the speakers like a knife. In an instant, everything had fallen apart. Not only was she embarrassed by being turned down, but also by the stillness that followed. On a field full with noise. The quiet was the most hurtful thing of all. She never talked about him again. When later asked about Spector, she didn't become angry. She didn't go on and on. She didn't say anything. The kind that makes everyone in the room stop talking. The kind that stops conversations and leaves wounds exposed. In Tina's world, betrayal wasn't only something that happened to her, it was work-related, and Spector had crossed both lines. And last but not least, Elton John, the band that really tested her tolerance. At first, it looked like a perfect musical combination, two larger-than-life icons who can't be stopped. But behind the scenes, Tina and Elton were a tempest waiting to happen. Every word was like thunder, and every gaze was like lightning. Their rivalry started in the late 1800s while they were rehearsing for a proposed TV spectacular that would bring together two different styles of showmanship. But what happened was anything but peaceful. Tina was demanding, focused, and didn't want to settle for less than the best. Each step had to be sharp, and each sound had to be on purpose. Elton was renowned for being flashy and picky, so he didn't like being told what to do. He reacted when Tina told him he wasn't ready. He called her impossible and said she acted like a general. Everyone in the room stopped talking. Then for hours there were yelling, slammed doors, and one shattered microphone stand. They barely made it through the show. They grinned on stage, but they never looked at each other. Elton later said that the fight with Tina was like a volcano. Tina never said anything in public, but her silence spoke volumes. Friends of hers claimed she thought he was gifted but annoying, smart yet fragile. A man who liked the lights better than the music. The kind of collaborator who thought that spectacle was depth and volume was depth. Tina didn't want to share a stage with someone because she was protecting herself, not because of her ego. And with Elton, the fight was just too loud, too fiery, and too memorable to ignore. Tina Turner wasn't only a fighter, she was a storm in high heels. She didn't cause fights, but when they happened, she finished them without saying sorry. These 6 names may not be in the liner notes, but they helped her build the wall, run the stage, and choose the stillness. They weren't just enemies, they reminded her of the hurt, betrayal, and things she had to get over. While the world danced to her songs, she danced around the shadows of those she could never forgive. She only wore forgiveness when it was convenient for her, and she left certain scars raw as a warning, since some grudges never go away. They start fires and keep them going. And Tina never looked back at the fire. She strolled right through them and never got burned again.